Okay, so I found this really funny meme. It said "Law and No Laws, No Borders, Trump Derangement Unit," and it has all of the Congress crazies on it, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious, and I posted it on the Truth or Talk wall, and then I get a message from this lady basically telling me that I've just lost a subscriber and don't be ignorant, and I'm just like. So I look in her page, and she's like posting stuff from Occupy Democrats and, Bernie Sanders. I was like, yeah, she was never a subscriber. Really? Like, she's coming, on this page and saying that she's unsubscribed, but like, she's posting stuff from Democrats and socialists. And I'm just like, that's the thing that like made you quit. I've been posting stuff for like 2 years on this issue, and now you're mad. That's the thing. So I was just like, whatever, dude. And then I look at her horse, and I'm like, she has a picture of her and her horse. Yeah, horses cost like $50,000. So I'm guessing that you don't live in the inner city where all the illegal immigrants are going to be coming to. I'm just tired of all of these people with their horses in their gated communities and their, safe neighborhoods and armed security telling us how to live. They're like living in Candyland. I don't understand what their deal is. I mean, can't you at least be compassionate and be like, well, I'm not in your situation. I guess, you have a different point of view. But it's just like, no, you're racist, you're ignorant, just shut up. Like, there's no point of view. There's no middle ground. There's no point of view. It's just them and their horses. They're $50,000 horses. So I don't really, I can't take this lady seriously. I'm so sick of these people. I'm leaving Lyft pretty soon, and I can't wait because, like I said, most of the time I do have, good experiences, but when I have to hold my tongue a lot because I'm driving around these detached people, that want to talk shit about people that want security and they want jobs and they want certain things that they already have, but anybody else that has a different point of view of them is ignorant, they're racist, they're brainwashed, they're whatever. They're every name in the book except, a person that has a different point of view than them. So anyway, I'm watching this, I watched the Trump going to the border. He had the meeting, and then I watched when he was with the Border Patrol. Very, very great. It's so funny, too, how they're trying to paint the Border Patrol as, like, this arm of the KKK and skinheads. Like, they're these white people that are going around just terrorizing people of color. They were, like, Latino, black people. There are different people of color there. And one of the agents was saying that they apprehended at least 450 people. And that was just yesterday. And he said 133 of them were from different countries other than, like, Mexico. So he was, like, Pakistan, India, Ecuador, Romania, Nicaragua, like, all those countries. And it's just, you hear these figures from mainstream media, saying that they're, most of the illegal immigrants come via airplane and they just overstay their visas. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. They don't know the exact number. And then Jim Acosta with his dumbass, he goes and he's like, I'm at the wall and see, there's no problem. Yeah, because there's a fucking wall there, dumbass. Like, he's so stupid. I'm like, are you serious? Plus, why would the people that are trying to break into the country, like, rush out in the middle of the day when there are cameras there? Like, is he really a journalist? These people have destroyed journalism. And then there are people that were asking Trump, they were like, so are you going to visit the detention centers where kids were separated from their parents? And I'm just like, I can't believe you're still on that. Don't you know, like, I don't know, Reno versus Flores, they did DNA testing. Most of those kids weren't even related to the people. This is before the Trump administration. Parents are separated from their kids in America every day via the crimes that they commit. If you commit a crime, you get separated from your kid. And they're still on that. They're like still on that's a talking point. Like they can't see past the talking point. They don't fact check. CNN had to retract that story about and Time Magazine had to retract that story with the little girl crying and Trump on the cover because it wasn't true. And that's the only retraction that they've made amongst the mountain of lies that they tell like every millisecond. So I don't, these journalists are they're just bots. They're not even like people. I'm like, it's like they get a list probably every day of just questions to ask. Like they're not allowed to do their own critical thought or investigation. It just seems like they're just probably printed a list of questions to ask, and then they ask them whether they make sense or not. I don't know. I've had to take a break for a while. I mean, I'm going through some stuff and you know, busy with some other things, but I also just been wanting to take a break from all this, because I'm just like, you know, when they get the wall built, just let me know, because it's getting ridiculous. And the whole thing with like Chuck and Nancy Schumer, I made them look ridiculous. They totally look like evil villains. Like seen the memes. They're great. They're right. It's like they're total evil villains. They're basically blaming everything on Trump. They don't have any solutions. They say they want voter security, but then they you know, they retract what they said. And then they've said this years ago that they were going to do something about it. But now when somebody's really going to do something about it, they don't want to do anything about it. I don't, like, am I dreaming? I'm so sick of this. It's so infuriating and it's so frustrating. And I think the wall's gonna get built, because I guess what he's trying to do is he's trying to go through all the proper avenues so he can just be like, see, I did this and I did that and you didn't want to do it. But if he can declare national emergency, you can have the wall built, which it is. And then they were saying that a few weeks ago. They're like, oh, it's a national emergency, you know. Oh, you know, the UN, you know, it's migrants, it's a national emergency, or it's a humanitarian crisis. Sorry, that's what you're saying, a humanitarian crisis. And now Trump is using that word, and they're like, oh, it's not a humanitarian crisis. It's like anything that he says, like they have to say the opposite of. No matter if it makes sense, no matter if they said it before. You know, you have all these people on record, on video, talking about, you know, the illegal immigration problem. And at that time too, they used the word illegal immigrants, or aliens. They didn't use undocumented immigrants. So there's something to that there too. And now you have actually somebody that wants to do something about it, and they think it's like the worst thing in the world. And then you have all these idiot people that just, you know, like, you know, let the TV, like, you know, laser into their brain of the few people and the few viewpoints that they listen to, and where you can easily go and look this stuff up, and you can see that they've changed their point of view, like, within, you know, a matter of just a few years. They've just changed on a dime. But it doesn't matter, you know. Walls are immoral, from all these people with their houses and their horses. You know, their horses. I bet you the lady locks her horse in a place where there's like some kind of barrier, right? So that she doesn't want her horse getting out, or doesn't want anybody getting in to steal her horse. These people are such hypocrites. I can't even imagine the level of just, I don't even know what the word, it's like they're like I'm starting to become racist, like against zombies, against leftist zombies, you know? And it's sad because I think that if people were just open to other people's point of view, right? Like you can see, I can understand why there's some people that are freaking out. You know, there are people that are here illegally, but there are good people for the most part. You know, a lot of them are just trying to keep their heads down and work and, you know, do the best for their family. But there are a lot of people that are criminals, and they're evil, and they're drug dealers, and they deal with the cartel, and they're sexual predators, and they, you know, just like people here. But if we can get those people out, you know, I don't see why we should have to, you know, fund those jerks here, those people here, you know. But I understand, like, there are people that are freaking out. I was digressing, but I understand there are people freaking out because they, you know, a lot of my friends, you know, my first time in my life were either first generation or fresh off the boat. So, like, I understand, like, people don't want their friends taken away from them. But, like, when you're talking about the people's family who got killed by, you know, people that were illegal, man, I can't even imagine the rage and the anguish that these people feel when they're trying to tell these stories and they're attacked by these crazy-ass leftists and they're just being called hateful and racist. When somebody was, like, just murdered out of the blue, you know, by somebody that was illegal, that's been deported like 20 times and is still able to come back into this country. And supposedly there's thousands of people out there like that. So it's not just like one or two people. So I can't imagine the rage. My heart goes out to those families. I hope that they get some type of resolution and some kind of, you know, closure with this situation. And, you know, walls do work. Jim Acosta just proved that. He's so stupid. But I don't, I don't know how long this is gonna take, because I just, you know, they don't care about the Democrats, all these other people, you know, the left. They don't care about the American people. You know, they care about themselves, their own virtue signaling, their own voter base that they're stealing by using illegal votes like they did, like Better Work did, and probably a lot of people in California. But anyway, that's what I want to say about that. I'm going to leave some links below in case you haven't seen the meeting, or you haven't seen the meeting with the Border Patrol. He had a meeting inside with like the Lieutenant Governor of Texas and some other people, and then he went outside with the Border Patrol and he talked to them, and they had another like press conference. It was really good. It was very informative. And just pray, guys, that we get to move on it and this wall gets built like fast. And mind you, I would like to say I didn't really know how I felt about the wall, but now I want a wall. I see, especially with them trying to like invade. I think that was the last straw for me when I see like how the UN is just sending people to bum rush our border, and how Mexico's president sold them out and signed this migration pact, and how, you know, Trump is a boss and he was like, no, we're not doing that, you know. I'm starting to see the strategy a little bit better now of the globalists and the New World Order, and how they're really trying to turn this country into a socialist hell. And now I'm watching Celia on top of that, and the Barbudos, the communist SJWs are taking over Cuba, and I'm like, oh hell no, this cannot happen in America. This is not going to happen in America. So anyway, that's it. Let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, peace, just love. Bye-bye.